DJ Psycho Eddie. You're listening to MyNightOut Radio on Rhode Island Free Radio. If you want to get in touch with us, MyNightOutRadio@Verizon.net. Hit me up with an email if you want to get on, talk to us, advertise with us. Please call us. We're running out of guests that show up. As you can tell, we don't have a guest this week, but we do have in studio with us Mr. George Garner.
Good evening, Psycho Eddie.
And also making us sound as wonderful as we do, we have Mr. Tony Jones.
And I'll take the ping on us not having a guest because technology has not been cooperating with me. And any message that I have that has more than one recipient, which is like every message I have, was going to my spam folder. So even though they replied about coming in on July 1st, I wasn't able to respond until today.
You basically reduced Eddie's guest to spam.
I pretty much reduced every business or thing I had in the works to
spam,
wondering why nobody was contacting me, and then responding to everybody today.
He was having a Mr. Rogers moment when no one would love him.
It sounds more like a Soylent Green moment.
Well, anyways, I have to first off apologize to everybody. I'm just getting off of a 12-hour show yesterday, Beach Dock, which was absolutely amazing. Edema was awesome on stage, awesome live band. They're not really suffering with the amount of time they've been playing. They really put on a hell of a show. Also, really great guys to hang out with. I definitely want to give a shout to Chris Coles, the drummer for Edema. He actually sought me out on Facebook, and at the end of the show, really complimented me on what I did, which kind of hits a soft spot in the heart because you don't really hear that often from, especially traveling in national acts.
Yeah, the band complimenting the DJ.
Yeah.
It's a good trend. I mean, I'd like to see it continue.
No, I'd love to see that more. But, as usual, I have to torture you guys first. I went out to eat. You might have guessed this already. But
yeah, but I'm prepared. I went out and ate at a buffet before I showed up here.
You actually did physical harm to yourself eating at a buffet.
But I'm full.
You're full. Good.
You can't torture me as often as you usually do.
Well, let's try this one first. Yeah, first? First off? Okay, we'll worry about the semantics of how I speak later. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Shanty. The Shanty is in Warwick, right on Route 1, just opposite Coesit Road. If you're familiar with Cellos on the Waterfront, before you get there, you pass the Shanty.
Okay.
Now, I took my wife there. It's not my typical dive. I actually spent a little bit more money than the Happy Meal.
Okay.
Which is funny because it used to be a dive, and now the Shanty folks took it over and really turned it into like a destination restaurant.
Well, I got to tell you, first off, everything I had, the food, and you can actually taste fresh. The lettuce greens were crisp, and yes, I did eat some salad.
Okay.
It was pasta salad, but it had greens in it, and they were fresh.
It was bacon.
There was bacon in it, too.
You ate carbohydrate salad, basically.
Yes. Hey, only way worse than a carbohydrate salad is a taco salad. He's smattering a lettuce on top. But I'm getting sidetracked
It's
here.
salad. Good.
First thing that really clued me in that I was going to like this place, they had Narragansett in the 16-ounce cans, ice cold. And when you got it, they gave you a glass.
Wow, now talk about going up to class.
I know. This was almost pinky out type beverage consumption, I'll tell you. For an appetizer, my wife and I split it because I am trying to maintain my girlish figure. There was a pregnant girl, but still, we have a figure. We had tuna tartare nachos.
Damn. You really did class it up.
Oh, we definitely. My pinky still hurts from having it out that far. Instead of doing it on a nacho, it was a wonton skin. There was a honey wasabi sauce with it. And it wasn't this big heap of nachos where you're going to like pig out. You only had like 8 nachos on the plate, but it was enough. And again, it had the tuna. It had a little bit of a tobacco on it, or a caviar with it, and the wasabi, honey wasabi sauce with it. It was out of this world. Now, my wife had a salad with chicken on it, just grilled chicken on
Plain old grilled
Yeah.
chicken salad. Yeah.
But it wasn't just iceberg or romaine lettuce. It was all the fresh garden greens.
Right.
Personally, I had the salmon cooked absolutely perfectly, and it had like I said, a pasta salad, which was the cavatelli. It had Brussels sprouts in it, bacon, and it was out of this world. I mean, there were olives and peppers, and oh my God, it was unbelievable. I cannot say enough about it.
I'm not tortured, but I am a bit moved. I do like salmon.
Well, absolutely perfect salmon. If they could have made it any more perfect, they would have had to take pictures and frame it.
And that's another situation. You talked about being able to taste the fresh. Salmon is a very good situation where you can tell fresh from the weird GMO stuff where they actually inject the pink coloring into the salmon. You can taste the difference.
Very true.
Well, then, of course, being that I had a show last night, I wasn't cooking. My wife definitely wasn't cooking. So this morning, we hit Old Theater Diner, which I'm finding out is under new management.
Uh-huh.
Not only is it under new management, they changed around a few of the recipes. They changed the menu, and the kitchen staff is cooking better than it was before. This morning I had an omelet. They call it the Jerry's omelet. It used to be, it used to be the Jerry's omelet. Now it's Jimmy's omelet. Again, new.
Jerry's not here, man.
But it's got all the breakfast meats, vegetables, and whatever. And sometimes if you get an omelet with too much stuff in it, it doesn't cook all the way through, or they don't warm it up through.
Right.
You can actually tell that they took the time to cook all these vegetables and all this meat separately, then put it in the
Blend
omelet.
it. Right.
It was out of this world. It cost toast. As with most breakfast places, the coffee it's just not me. I can't drink the coffee there. But personal preference. And then the last one, I got to say, wasn't a shock. I've been there several times. However, this is the first time they did an on location where I was actually able to try their food. Bonehead Wings in West Warwick. However, yesterday the show I did, Beach Stock, which we'll be talking about a little bit later on, they had an outpost. So they had the steam trays with the wings, the boneless wings, pulled pork sliders, stuff like that. And I fat guy, fried food, you got to go.
Yeah.
So I went, I had one order of the boneless wings, or chicken bites, or whatever you want to call it. Then I had an order of wings, both with the sauce called Wrong Side of the Tracks, which is sriracha and honey.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Very fitting since they're located in West Warwick, Rhode Island.
Well, now here comes the funny part. Now, everyone paid $4 or $5 for whatever food they got. Well, when the band before the last band, so it was about 10 o'clock, they closed up shop. Whatever food was left over, they gave away for free.
Oh, man.
So here I am.
Okay,
can
now
you just give me my money back? But no, it was worth it. I had my nephew who's 19 in a bottomless pit, and he's just pretty. It looked like he was standing guard over the food, but he was just mowing for the last hour and a half. James, yes, I did call you out on that. But yeah, so those are the three highlights of the last week, and there have been other places, but I'm not gonna torture you guys too bad because I can see we do have an in-studio guest who's not at a microphone. He's licking his lips back there already. So at that, we're going to take a break. We're going to come. We're going to just change gears, and we're going to change gears a little bit. But first, let's go to break. This is a band that I've known for at least a decade. It's one that's worked with I can't even tell you how many national acts. The name of the band is 1031. But it's not the 1031 you see running around Rhode Island right now.
Okay.
It is the original 1031. The name of the song is Texas Death, and there's a story behind that, which I'll tell you when we get back. You're listening to MyNightOut Radio. We'll be back in a minute.
Boy, If you rock, well, let's roll. You know it's showtime. We're all rock stars. Bright lights, cat fights. I am a rock and roll star. VIP, your daddy's worst enemy. Yes, I'm a rock and roll star. There's nothing I would rather be. A rock and roll star. Deliver the line. What's the time? Showtime. Bright lights, cat fights. Woo! VIP. What's my name? Yes, we're a rockin', oh, we're a rockin' roll stars.
Welcome back, my night outers. That was Korozik, the name of the song Rockstar. Before that, you heard 1031. The name of that song was Texas Death. Now, I promised you the backstory to that song. Well, I mentioned there was one. 1031, the original 1031, just so I can make the difference on that. They were invited to play at the Texas Death Fest, where they got to play with a lot of very big-named heavy metal and death metal groups. And they actually got in really tight with a few of them, exchanging gifts and what have you. Well, they tied in with the guys from, and this goes back a ways, but I put it this way. I'm not going to quote the band of the name just so I don't get the story wrong. They hooked up with a national band that really liked to drink hard. And the whole premise behind the song Texas Death was they partied so hard they thought they were going to die every night for 4 or 5 nights in a row because of partying with this one band. So therein lies Texas Death. So I'm going to change gears just a little here. We're going to talk about why I am feeling, well, like hell.
Yeah, how many hours was that show?
Yesterday was a 12-hour show. Their bands, of course, Edema, they closed the night. They put on a phenomenal show. Bloodline Theory, Inverter, Seven Spires. Let's see. The band Affliction actually played a guitarist down. They have a guitarist who is in a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah, this is awful.
It's a horrible story, and my heart goes out to Josh. Josh Pineo, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's in a wheelchair, a motorized wheelchair, and he's very short in stature. Really nice guy. If you put a guitar in his hand, he is, hands down, one of the top 10 guitarists I've actually seen live.
Okay, but the fact he's in a wheelchair, what's so horrible?
Well, here's where the horrible comes in. He just arrived to the Coliseum. Now, in the Coliseum, they have a central dance floor where there's only about a 2-inch step down.
Okay.
Well, he didn't see the step down. His chair went off that ledge, completely flipped over, and landed on top of him. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to pick up a hover round or whatever, one of those
I know
motorized
wheelchairs are plain and simple heavy.
Oh, yeah. Well, this landed on top of him. To the best of my knowledge, and I did chat with a few people, including Josh today. Josh is doing better. He's going to be in recovery. From what I heard, he broke his leg, which someone was definitely looking out for him because I watched the chair go down on top of him and hit him right in the back of the head. It could have been a lot worse than it was. So, Josh, if you're listening, we're thinking about you. Also, Joint Damage, Hemlock, Apollo's Resurrection. There wasn't a single, even the openers, Analog Heart on the main stage, Life Down on the second stage. Everybody put on a phenomenal show, and it's hard to surprise me at shows. I've worked fetish shows. Yeah. I've worked many really large events. It was the first time I ever saw an inflatable beach toy, pool toy mosh pit.
Nice.
to the point where there was actually someone on the stage behind Edema throwing the beach balls back into the crowd so the band didn't trip on them. And again, another tragedy
Right.
could averted at that point. But I don't know how they come up with it. And then again, just when you haven't seen enough crazy crap going on, outside in the smoking area, they had a Velcro wall. Now, halfway through the night, it was a little bit of an older crowd. So you have a bunch of women there, which I'd venture to say cougars.
Okay.
In the Velcro suits, jumping around after having far more alcohol than any two people should have had.
Right.
It was absolutely hysterical.
Cougars in their natural habitats.
But no, I got to give it to Black Sheep. They put on a hell of a show, and just all the sideshow. There weren't even sideshow acts. It was
Right.
just one constant, holy crap, did you see that? Now, if you go on Facebook, you look me up, DJ Psyco Eddie, there is a picture that I took yesterday of a custom-made tie-dye T-shirt. I'm wearing it, and I am sitting with a mermaid.
Very good.
You can't make this stuff up. So, yeah, that was my Saturday afternoon, evening, night.
I can understand why you're exhausted, especially by the mermaid.
Well, the mermaid has a whole bunch of story all to herself, but she, really good girl. We'll call her Jackie.
Okay.
Jackie's a really nice kid, and I use the term kid because usually when I'm at a show, I'm about 15 to 20 years older than most of the people there.
I know the feeling.
So that leads me into another part of the evening where I had a conversation with a friend of ours. You probably know Lilith Astaroth.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony knows her as well. I actually had a chance to chat with her for a second, and I expressed my concern that if I wasn't actually DJing this show, I would be the creepy old dude in the corner.
You got to be wary of that.
People would think you're a cop.
Well, after saying this, I realized that there was a guy who had me by at least 20 years dressed as a pirate.
Okay, that was the quintessential creepy old
He
dude.
took the creepy old dude. So, again, thumbs up, kudos to everybody there. But I got to stop talking for a minute.
That's okay.
I need water.
We always have to be aware of that. After a certain, what would you say the cutoff point is to be in danger of being the creepy old dude? What would be the age cutoff?
I don't think there's an age cutoff as far as a how you act cutoff.
Yeah.
I know chances are 90% of the girls there are not into the fluffy old dudes.
Right.
So I'm not going to take my time and effort away from drinking and enjoying the show to try to pick one of them up.
Actually, it's more fun watching one of them try to pick one of them up.
Exactly. And notwithstanding that, I'm kind of married right now, and that would not
Not for
go
long
over
if your
well.
wife listened to the show.
In all honesty, my wife has been with me for a very long time, and I've been into some very unique situations that most married couples will never find themselves in.
Right, we're going to talk about the mermaid off the air now. Not
No,
on.
we don't have to. That's as far as the mermaid goes.
Oh, all right.
With me, like I said, she has her own stories, and if you ever see her, you could ask her.
Okay.
Most importantly about not being the creepy old guy is to not play pocket pool.
Gotcha.
Nothing worse than when a creepy old guy's got his hands in his pocket, jiggling around his change or his cell phone or something.
I got a piece of candy.
What's the
for
high
ya.
score?
Yeah, and we've all seen it happen. I'll tell you, speaking of...
Pocket pool?
no, actually, I was going to go back to the mosh pit, though. The beach toy mosh pit. That sounded pretty unique.
There is actually
think-
video of that.
Yeah, do you think that's... I don't know if the word cool is what I would use, but do you think that outdoes the Star Wars lightsaber mosh pit we saw happen at, what was it, Club Decadence that night?
You know, not only was it a Star Wars lightsaber mosh pit, but about 50% of the people were transvestites. So, I mean,
Okay, I think we
really
got,
had something going.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the ultimate one.
Okay, well, I'm
Beach Toys was close,
Beach
though,
Toy
Ed.
was a close second.
Close
to this?
second.
Okay.
Very close second.
Did I mention the dance floor had underlighting and a smoke machine, so that not only did you have the beach toys floating around, but everything looked really like that ethereal blue color.
Very, very close second.
Damn it, we need more transvestites at shows.
Yeah, let's get them out of the ladies' bathrooms and onto the mosh pit floor.
Exactly.
Bring your beach toys, girls.
All right, we got to take another break because I'm getting a little too goofy for right now. We're going to go out here with, it's a local band. They're out of Boston, but you probably know them anywhere you are. It's the Dropkick Murphys. The name of the song is going to be Drink and Fight. And you know what? We're going to do the first ever quintuple? Quad shot?
Quad, yeah.
We're going to do a quad shot of music.
I like that.
Not just drop kicks, but we're going to do a quad shot of really good punk music. This is My Night Out Radio. We'll be back in a minute.
Well, I stumbled in at 2 a.m. all drunk and full of smoke. My wife said I have had enough. That said I'm sick, get out. So I stumbled down to Kelly's Pub across the edge of town. And I told the boys my story, and we had another round. Oh, drink and fight. We'll drink and fight. And I might see a pretty girl, I'll sleep with her tonight. Yes, I'll drink and fight. And Mary McGregor, well, she was a pretty whore. She'd always greet you with a smile and never lock her door. But on the day she died, all the men in town did weep. For Mary McGregor finally got some sleep. Oh, drink and fight. Oh, drink and fight. And if I see a pretty girl, I'll sleep with her tonight. Yes, so drink and fight. Well, I once loved a girl, a child I'm told. I gave her my heart, and she gave me a cold. So now I sit standing here, out in the pouring rain. I'll stumble back to Kelly's Pub, and somehow stays the same. Yeah, my second-hand waves goodbye to a checkered past. Extensive profits, raise another glass. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Everybody knows a problem, and no one wants to say. They all know the answer, but you still look away. I'll never understand why they dim their eyes. Better that they don't speak instead of telling lies. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right.
All right, that was the McGunks. The Devil Was Right. Before that, you heard Almost Blind by a Samber. And then before that, you heard Drunk Rob and the Shots, Fat Girls. Of course, we started off the first ever RI Free Radio quad shot with the Dropkick Murphys, Drink and Fight. Where do we go from here?
I don't know, quad shot. Has that? I think you should copyright that.
That sounds
actually.
like a UFC move.
It does, but music as a musical terminology, it should be copyrighted.
I think, Tony, I think you're also our legal department. I think you should get on that.
Yeah, and then sue others.
Yes. So anybody who does more than 3 songs in a row.
You owe us money.
Yeah, including live bands. Every time a band set goes beyond 3 songs, we're suing them.
Of course.
So we're talking off the air. Almost Blind used to be a band called the Boneheads, and Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 used to be a band called the Goners. We actually played a show with a band called the Leftovers. So it was the Leftovers, the Goners, and the Boneheads. We showed up. We set up shop to play a night at the Blackstone, which was a now defunct bar in Cumberland. And the owner, who was actually also the sound girl, actually threw us out before the show even started. That's right. We didn't get to strike a chord 1. We were asked to leave the establishment.
Not only us, but the entire
lineup. Now, not too bad for us, not too bad for the Boneheads because they were at Providence, Pawtucket. But the Leftovers had come all the way from Connecticut to Cumberland
to get thrown out.
Didn't get to play.
Right.
I can honestly say I've only been thrown out of a bar once. And I wasn't even performing that night. I was just absolutely belligerent, and some bad things happened. And well, I was asked not to leave, and by asked I mean it took 4 of them and a police officer to throw me out of the bar. But I'll digress on that story because I never ended up going to jail for that one. I don't know how the hell I avoided that.
All right, but bands thrown out before they play.
I've seen that once or twice.
Have you?
I have.
Has the whole lineup though? All 3 of the bands?
Not the whole lineup.
Okay, Tony, we can. Okay, that is a Guinness
you
moment.
guys are
after
taking
all.
the first on that one. No, I've seen bands they showed up and they were pre-gaming from the Saturday before, and when they showed up and the owner of the bar or the sound guy looked at him and was like, "No, sorry, you cannot pull it off with this equipment. No, we're ready to play." You just go home. We'll call you a cab. But one thing I did want to bring up, because of hate mail I got not too long ago about my my attendance. We don't do consecutive shows usually, or we're not good with being here every single week.
Especially this time of year. I mean, there's so much going on. You know, the winter time, it's fine. We can all be here because it's just horrible outside.
And most of the time we have heat.
Yeah, yep.
Well, in our own defense, if the hate mail is complaining about our dedication and regular appearances, I mean, there's been some really weird stuff over these past few months that's caused us to miss a regular schedule.
Oh, I fully agree. I mean,
people getting sick, people dropping dead, just us being ourselves.
Again, I agree 100%. And I did go through a list of all the gigs I had coming up to explain. Look, you know, I get paid to DJ. This is a work of love. I like coming out, getting my voice, getting my music out there, and informing people about, you know, where to go and not be the starving kid in the block, and the cool new places to go for food.
Well, that probably perfectly dovetails into the fact that we won't be here next week.
See, you stole my thunder.
But
Yes,
but there is always podcasting.
Yep.
I mean, if we're not here, it doesn't mean that we're not here in spirit and in podcast. I mean,
exactly.
all these haters, I mean, take advantage of this modern technology. Yeah. I have a serious doubt as to whether all these people that complain have listened to every single episode of every single one of our shows. I really doubt that.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. So what you do is, if we're not here live on any given week for any different reason, from the absurd to the serious, go back and research and our archives, dredge up some of our podcasts, and then familiarize yourself with what has gone before.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I even do that to myself. I'll listen to my original first 3 or 4 shows where you had those long periods of silence, and you know, you're looking across the table trying to wink at each other like, no, come on, pick up the slack. So I like to see where I've graduated, and I'd like other people to see, you know, this is actual work. I mean, it's not easy to actually come up with an hour's worth of material. Granted, this week 30 minutes of that is music, but you got to come up with and be able to hold a conversation either with yourself or, fortunately, with other people to do that.
Right.
So my excuse for next week is Paracon.
Right, yeah, okay, let's mention that a little bit. I mean, if there was ever a good excuse for missing a show, this is it. We can't be in spite of the fact that we're interested in the supernatural here, we cannot, at this point, be in 2 places at once.
As much as we would like to.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, I checked it out. The Wi-Fi there is not good enough for us to do a live on-location broadcast.
It's actually a hamster on a wheel with a couple of elastic bands.
Yeah, I think most of our Wi-Fi is going to come off of my cell phone. Put it that way.
And that hamster is also somebody's wife.
But we will be at the Assembly Theater both Saturday and Sunday next weekend, Harrisville, Rhode Island, for Paracon, which, if you're not familiar, is a paranormal convention. Let's see. I'm bringing it up on the brain box right now. Each day starts around noon, goes till 5, 6 o'clock each night. Tickets are not coming up. Anyways, tickets for the 2 days is $15. For 1 day, I think is like $10. Kids under 12 are like $5. And there are going to be quite a few very big names. I know Joe Chin's going to be there. Keith and Sandra Johnson are going to be there. Ken DaCosta. Who else? A good friend of mine from Leominster, Mass., Shannon Sylvia, will be there. She runs the Para TV podcast out of Leominster.
I'll tell you, this is going to be big because it's, you know, we'll vouch for the fact that it's not easy to get all these people in one place at the same time. It really is not.
No, it's definitely a chore, and I know months of planning have gone into this, and fortunately for me, Ken DaCosta, who was running this, contacted me, or I volunteered. I'm not really sure how that worked out. But we're going to be doing sound both inside the Assembly Theater for all the presentations, and on the outside we're going to have some mainstream classic music playing, 50s and 60s car show type stuff, all the way up to more modern stuff. And you'll get to meet Tony Jones and myself. Are you going to be in attendance?
I will bless the occasion.
Okay, well, I just got to...
How can a man with a show called The Haunted Cabaret not show
be at
up
a
to such an occasion?
paranormal event? Yeah.
Exactly. So we will be there. If you want to meet us, we'll be there all weekend. Just listen for us.
One of my favorite, pieces of doing radio ever is interviewing Keith Johnson, and you guys know that I find all this stuff interesting, but I'm a skeptic, like most of us. So we're talking with Keith Johnson. Things are going well, and as I say, well, now let's talk about demonology. All the light bulbs on the track lighting blew out. See, now if it was one light bulb that blew out,
That's
maybe,
one thing.
or one little glitch, but for all of them to blow out at once at that very moment, that was some freaky stuff.
I agree.
And I had to explain to the landlord and the owner of the station why all the lights were blown out. Well, we're talking about demonology.
Well, I've had a chance to sit down and chat with Keith and Sandra. They are fixtures at the Rhode Island Comic Con, which we were at last year, and they've been there every year, as far as I remember. The foggy memory.
Yeah, and I believe they were, but like I say, but the trick is getting the cast of characters you described.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you that this is an impressive accomplishment.
I do agree, and if anyone can pull it off, he's. Well, this is what they're doing, their second year, third year of this now. I'm not really sure. Well, if you show up, we'll have all the information, so make sure you come down and see us. We're going to have to leave here for a song because I got a lot more music and not a lot of time left. So we're going to leave here with 95 Hyde. The name of the song is Light This Place Up. We'll be back in a minute.
Place up.
back, my night outers. That was a double shot of 95 High. First song, Light This Place Up. The one you just listened to was Set Me Free. Now, I have to take a somber turn for the evening, and if you might have noticed that we're trying to keep it very light and we're laughing a lot, that's the best way to get over a tragedy as far as we're concerned, or at least as far as I'm concerned. One of the Rhode Island Free Radio alum, Chuckles the Clown, did have a loss in his family. His mom did pass away, and our heart goes out to him. So, Chuckles, if you're listening, anything you need, please let us know. On that, I think we're just about out of time. So if you want to get in touch with us, MyNightOutRadio@Verizon.net is the email. You want to hit us up with any new music, if you want to send us an MP3 or of something your band's doing, or if you want to announce something or promote something. If you want to come on, just hit us up. Also, Facebook /MyNightOut, Twitter and Instagram, DJ Psyco Eddie or MyNightOut RI. MyNightOutRI.com is the website for all your information and entertainment, upcoming events. Please definitely check us out. I think that's going to wrap us up for the evening.
Okay, well, and as far as the hate mail for us not being here next week, just, we'll save you the trouble. Just consider it delivered.
Well, no, honestly, I
do
don't
you really want it?
I'm glad I'm getting some mail. Even negative publicity is still publicity. So if you want to hate me all you want. Type your fingers off. I want to hear what's ticking you off. So either I can fix it or I can make fun of you on the air.
Oh, and speaking of hate mail, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for the Haunted Cabaret.
The Haunted Cabaret. I think the highest amount of hate mail is between the cabaret and the Chuckle Script.
Yeah, we're in competition.
However, only one of you has ticked off an entire terrorist cell.
Yeah,
or
I
at
know.
least a group.
I know, and we've tried as hard as we can to smooth it over for Chuckles, but all we can do is hope for the best.
Well, as long as they keep coming to what's the address here? 127 Dorrance Street.
We've also ticked off half of West Warwick because we're always digging on them.
Well, that's Tony Jones exclusively.
No, I dig on them too, but I live here, so I'm allowed to. They give you the pass to do that as soon as you buy property here.
See, whereas myself, I'm spineless enough to play both sides of the fence at all times. I mean,
well, on the way out of here, it's a band that we've had them in studio. In fact, I talked to them last night. They want to come back in studio because in the year or so from the last time they were here, they have absolutely blown up. The name of the band I'm talking about is Whiskey Fire. The name of the song is War and Glory.
Yes.
That's right. And this is War and Glory. You heard it here first. My Night Out Radio. Have a good night, everybody.
Marching tonight.
Sugar